Hey everybody. I was guided to come on and do a quick Facebook Live. My cat Daniel's here. My cat Daniel is here with me. He almost always, when I record a class or do a YouTube video or a Facebook Live, he's almost always comes and is like glued to my side. Yes. He'll probably talk through this quick class thing. So I had a friend comment on one of my posts within the last day with a really good question, and and she's a spiritual teacher, and has had her practice or her business for a while, but she at some point her energetic well ran dry, and I want to comment on that because that happened to me too. Some of you might know, and she was feeling the need to take a step back and pursue other interests, and not necessarily focus on serving her tribe necessarily. And yes, tribe, and and this is it's a widespread phenomenon among what my tribe is called universal wisdom leaders, and we're made up of coaches, healers, spiritual teachers, spiritual artists, soul-centered, heart-centered entrepreneurs that are here to support your unique true tribe, the tribe of your soul, I call it. And the universal wisdom leaders, what we really are, and what I've been shown on a grand scale, is we're the new generation of the Deepak Chopras of the world, of the Wayne Dyers, the Louise Hayes, the Eckhart Tolles, and the list goes on. And we're sort of in this state of, I don't know if comeuppance is the right term, but we're waking up to the knowledge that not only are we here to share our gifts in this lifetime, but we're here to share them in a more widespread fashion than perhaps we have in past years. And also, so those are some of the characteristics of my own soul tribe members. And another characteristic is that most likely you've been at this for a while. You've done a lot of the online courses for, practical business techniques and tools and methods, and plug and play, tried and true methods, or the if something's not working for you, it's because you're not doing this thing my way. And we've all seen, gone to the free webinars, and I know I myself have been extremely picky and choosy as far as actually hiring business coaches. I think I've only worked with 2 really, and some of them more than once, but and a really amazing spiritual psychic marketer who I'm still working with. But I know that, the drive to support our tribes is so strong, and in the past, however many years, as we've been shifting from the old earth energy into the new earth energy, we've been kind of striving and struggling and stressing out about how do I make my business work, and what are the exact methods I need, and then I take myself and I plug it into these little strict graphic meaning not graphic like graphic something in a movie, but literally like plugging yourself into graphs. and when in reality, reality, quote unquote, in universal truth language, we universal wisdom leaders, we don't fit into those old school business boxes, you know. Maybe you have tried some and maybe some of them have worked okay for you, you know. But in my experience and what I've observed among us is that we do that hamster wheel thing where we're trying so hard to figure out how to make our business work that we're not actually just doing our business. And, you know, and I've studied this for a long time. When I first took my business online, I actually I became a spiritual business coach for this very reason, because I receive visions and I'm a channel for the universe, and I received the information that, you know, we and I'm sure it's no surprise for you guys too, but, you know, we don't fit into a square business box or rectangle or cube or whatever. Getting more multidimensional as I go on. We're more like we fit into Metatron's cube and the flower of life business model, which is all about everything's connected and all are one. And how the heck do we do business in that way? Well, it's actually much easier for us to do business in that way than to plug ourselves into the old business strategies, I guess is a good way to describe it. So back to my client, or not my client, my Facebook friend, who was saying like she kind of got burned out and had to take a step back and was really focusing more on other, you know, pursuits that brought her joy just in her own life. I totally get it. It was not last year, but the year before. So right before Thanksgiving of 2015, I was talking to a dear friend and colleague, and we both were kind of having a nervous breakdown, simultaneously, because we had spent so much of our energy trying to do too much and you know, giving and giving and giving, to the point of being so hyper stressed out. She ended up, you know, and she's fine now, but she got dehydrated and had to be in the hospital for a couple days. I was not hospitalized, but I realized that I was totally addicted to, what is it, like is it adrenaline or whatever, the stress hormone that's secreted when you're under a lot of stress and trying to do too much. Boy, I'm definitely not addicted to it anymore, because I weaned myself off and healed from that. So I can't even think of the word. I think it's adrenaline. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm open to whatever it was. I was addicted to stress is really the best way to put it. And so taking a step back from your biz, it's so not only natural, but it's been needed, especially in the past few years. And I've seen it in other spiritual entrepreneurs as well. Now, that brings me to an interesting point. When you take a step back and do the healing from overworking and stressing out about your business and trying to fit into the old school business models, you know, and you do your inner healing, at what point are you still healing? Or at what point does it become, well, now I've taken a step back from my biz for so long that I'm kind of don't even know how to move back into it or move forward, you know? And it's sort of like, for me, it kind of felt like I was in hiding. And I started to realize, but only once I did heal from the old stress addiction, I really started to realize that, well, my goodness, now that I can actually come forward and approach my business in a more relaxed manner and, you know, still allow myself a lot of time to sleep and rest and dream and hang out without feeling like I always have to be doing something. Came to that point, I realized, well, I really do, in the new, coming from the new place of inner peace, I do need to get to slide back into some inspired action in my business. Because what's true is that this is the lifetime where my soul tribe really does need my support. But I couldn't have come back and really given my full attention to that without having filled my own cup first. And yes, my cat says yes. And allowed myself the breathing room and the the time to do a lot of inner observation, as to why I was entwined with that old school business stress world, and how to unravel myself from that, and then slowly and peacefully come back into the business world from a completely new perspective, from the new earth perspective, if you will, instead of the old earth business mindset. And so yeah, to my friend who had left that comment about stepping back from her business, this is my message, not only for her, but for all of us, because I believe that so many of us have experienced something similar, especially in the past couple of years, the past probably 2 to 3 years, in a major way. So just to be aware of that and differentiation, and how much are you still needing to rest and do a lot of practicing with your inner peace, your new inner peace, model of being you, and how much of it is that you're almost reluctant to get back into see, for me, I think I was a little reluctant to get back into the world of business because I was afraid that I would slip back into my old stress mode. And so the flowing back into the business world, I allowed myself to do it very, very, very gradually and in a state of complete self-observation. And if I felt my body tensing up and my adrenals like starting to go, then I would step back again. So it's this like a state of extreme self-awareness is necessary for us universal wisdom leaders to be in the business world. And so that is definitely, that needs to be in place. And then also, what is also true is that our soul tribes really do need us. And so from the place of inner peace, being in that space actually allows you to start to share in a more widespread way, because you're doing it from more of a place of your own personal power. Because actually being in a state of inner peace is one of the aspects of empowerment. And I go more into those aspects in Shamanic Empowerment School, which I want to tell you a little bit about the updates to the school as well. But so being very self-aware, really, really allowing yourself to, and I mean, if I could whittle it down to like 1 or 2 most important things you could possibly do as a universal wisdom leader right now. 1 is to allow yourself to sleep as much as your body truly needs to. When you do that, and when you finally go into your inspired business actions, your body is way more relaxed, having had the complete restoration that it needs for your next inspired business task, right? So number 2, and this was sort of downloaded to me today, every one of us should have a bottle of Rescue Remedy, the Bach Flower Rescue Remedy Essence. You can order it online. Any Whole Foods would have it. Any health food store would have it. It's really easy to get, and it's for any stress or anxiety, any trauma, shock, stress, or anxiety. And so if you feel yourself going into that stress mode when you're doing business stuff, take a couple drops of Rescue Remedy, sit still for a few moments, and just take some deep breaths. So those are my top 2 hints for you. And so if you're interested in because I have been studying, not only have I put myself on my own inner peace journey over the past, couple years, and so thankful that I did that, because I don't even know what would have become of me if I did not, consciously put myself on that journey. So not only have I done that, but I've been on my journey of empowerment for the past 23 years, I think it is now. But very consciously, probably since, let me think for a second, probably very consciously since 2010, in a very purposeful manner. Like, I am stepping fully into my power. What's the first step? Bam, doing that, making sure I step into that level of empowerment, and then bam, bam, bam. So over the years, I've been downloaded the 5 aspects and the 5 levels of empowerment. And I'm a much happier, healthier person because of it. And one of the aspects of empowerment is also abundance. So, and interestingly enough, from the time I became a practicing shaman in 2006, I actually have specialized in abundance and prosperity, in supporting my clients with abundance, prosperity, and money. So, and that's one of the 5, abundance is one of the 5 aspects of empowerment as well. So we cover all of that in Shamanic Empowerment School. And I created the school. The reason I created the school is because I was given a vision of creating a space where my true tribe, my soul tribe, could gather together and really focus on filling our own cups to full and to overflowing, like a full service gas station for the soul and the energy and the emotions and the mind and the body. And that's really what the school's become. And it's such a, when I think of it, it's like, oh my God, like, it makes me feel so happy. It's so cool. So not only am I sharing, and this was always my original intention as well, basically sharing everything I've ever learned, all in one place, all of us together. And when I say everything I've ever learned, meaning everything I've ever learned about empowerment, about healing, self-healing, and healing techniques that I've downloaded or that have channeled through me, or that I've created over the years, that I've used on myself, that I've used on my own, one-on-one clients. I create monthly master classes, and there's already a bunch with just, whatever, and it's always like divinely channeled. And the classes, hold wisdom that I've learned over the past 23 years, and healing methods that I've created, as well as, and this is a cool new addition, I'm integrating now core shamanic healing tools that I was taught by my shamanic teacher, and that pretty much every shaman from the beginning of written history, and probably before that, across the earth, every shaman who's ever practiced healing throughout history, and those are the core shamanic healing tools. We have all always used them, no matter what other practices, different groups of shamans have used. So these are the core methods, like extraction, which is the removal of things that should not be in our energy field, and so therefore our blocks. Soul retrieval, probably you guys have heard of that. Power animal healing, sound healing. I upload monthly different sound healings to the group, which are now, they want to be, my sound healings now want to be called shamanic empowerment songs, which is fitting, right? So we've got a whole library already full of different meditations and empowerment songs that work vibrationally in your energy and on a soul level to shift, whatever that specific sound healing is for. the monthly master classes, and there's bonus, audios and videos and meditations and of course, I was talking about the 5 aspects and 5 levels of empowerment, and that whole, teaching that was channeled through me, as well as the 8 realms of empowerment, which are the realms of empowerment within yourself that each one of us has to draw upon to help balance out if there's any blocked energy in our own what's called the shamanic empowerment grid, which is where the empowerment aspects meet the levels of empowerment. So that's the grid, and everyone has a grid, and you can all become empowered, and you can work through the grid. And if there's something imbalanced, you call on a realm, or however many realms of the 8 realms of healing that you have inside of yourself, or realms of empowerment, I should say. But those are your healing realms. So basically, what the universal truth is that each one of us has everything we need inside of us to be our most empowered selves. In other words, our happiest, healthiest, wealthiest, most peaceful, most abundant, most energized self. We've all got it. It's inside of us. So that's what the shamanic empowerment grid is all about. So I teach, there's a video about that, and there's a image of the grid, and there's the how to work with the grid, and what are the 8 realms of empowerment, etc. So there's all about that as well. And I've started adding different things, different power animals, because obviously animals are here on Earth to connect us with our personal power, and it's only fitting that totem and power animals want to come in and share messages with you guys. I've been sharing high vibrational empowering recipes just as a fun little file in the Facebook group, things that I've loved to cook and eat for years, and that always make me feel really good, and that's just a fun bonus, and a really great tool if you put it to use, obviously. And I feel like there's one more thing. So I'm being guided to add, and I didn't have this in there before. I'm being guided to actually add a weekly Facebook Live in our private Facebook group, where you can, even if you can't show up for it live, you can watch it later, but you can ask your questions in advance or share your challenges that you want support with in advance. And in the group, there's personalized shamanic empowerment coaching. Wednesday is our coaching day, but really you can ask your questions anytime. It's totally casual. In other words, it's 24/7. And I'm on Facebook, at some point or another. I'm on Facebook every day, so I'll always get to your questions really quickly. If I read it and I know that I won't be able to get to it till like later that night or possibly the next afternoon, I'll let you know, but I always get to everything. And you've got me, like I'm your shaman. I'm your shaman in this monthly membership group where you can join anytime. And if you no longer want to be a member, you can leave anytime. So I love it. I love it so much. It's really one of my favorite services that has ever been created through me, that I've allowed to be created into the realm of this energetic manifestation that we call Facebook and on my website. And it's really cool. I just love it. So if anyone, what I'll do is I'll do it right now. I'm going to type a link to the school membership page. And another thing I will share is that I keep receiving guidance to raise the fees. And I haven't done that yet. I don't know exactly when I'm going to do that. So if you are interested in joining, this would be a really great time. So basically the fee you join at, you're locked in, so that if I raise the fees, it won't affect you at all. So if you feel guided and you want support into being your most empowered self, and why is that important? So that you can then be of the highest support, of the most divine support for you, the true tribe of your soul. So in other words, you won't get burnt out. You will be able to approach your spiritual business or practice from a place of being, not only being your most empowered self, but of having your cup filled to overflowing, so that then coming back and giving feels effortless and easy, and creating your own, services or ideas for your business. It'll happen effortlessly because it's coming from a place of you being happy from your soul, from the core of your soul, and throughout all your levels and outward. And you'll have a whole bunch of new healing tools under your belt. If you don't already have the shamanic healing tools, you'll get those, plus all of the tools that I created. Because I really do share everything, and I share it as guided. But if you have questions, I will share as needed as well. So as you need and as I am guided to, is how I share everything I've ever learned. So I just think it's great. And it's really fun too. And you'll feel really good. So hopefully I will see you in the school. Alrighty, guys. Thanks for joining.